In the beginning, God shaped Adam from the dust of the ground and breathed life into him. He placed Adam in a wondrous garden called Eden, a paradise filled with vibrant trees, clear rivers, and animals of every kind. In this sacred place, Adam lived freely under the loving gaze of his Creator, but God saw that Adam needed a companion. From Adam's own side, he crafted Eve, a perfect partner for him. Together they roamed the garden, joyful and innocent, living in complete harmony with each other, with creation, and with God. They were naked, yet felt no shame, for their hearts were pure. At the center of Eden, God had planted a special tree, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God had given them a simple command: they could eat freely from any tree, except this one. Adam and Eve often passed by the glowing tree. Though beautiful and mysterious, they obeyed God's command and stayed away. Still, deep within, curiosity stirred quietly as they wondered why this one tree was forbidden. One day, a serpent appeared among the branches. It was cunning, unlike any other creature. It spoke to Eve, casting seeds of doubt in her mind, twisting God's words, and promising that eating the fruit would open her eyes and make her like God himself. Tempted by the serpent's lies and the beauty of the fruit, Eve reached out and took it. She ate, and she gave some to Adam, who was with her, and he too ate. In that moment, everything changed. The instant they tasted the fruit, Adam and Eve's eyes were opened. They realized they were naked, and shame filled their hearts where once there was only innocence. Desperate to cover themselves, they stitched fig leaves together and tried to hide among the trees. When they heard God walking in the garden, their fear overwhelmed them. They hid, knowing they had disobeyed the one who gave them life. God called out to Adam, asking where he was. Shaking with fear, Adam stepped out from where he was hiding among the trees. His head hung low, and shame weighed heavily on him. Yet when God questioned him, Adam did not admit his guilt. Instead, he shifted the blame. He pointed to Eve and said that it was the woman, the one God had given him, who had given him the fruit. In Adam's heart, fear had now been twisted into defensiveness, and trust between man and woman began to unravel. Then God turned his gaze to Eve, and she was trembling, looked not to herself but to the serpent. She pointed toward the deceiver, her voice full of fear and sorrow. She confessed that the serpent had tricked her, and because of that she had eaten the fruit. In those moments, both Adam and Eve chose to excuse their actions rather than accept responsibility. Blame passed from Adam to Eve, and from Eve to the serpent. Sin had not only broken their relationship with God but had sown division between themselves as well. The beauty of the garden stood still, heavy with sorrow. Innocence was gone. The purity of love, trust, and perfect obedience had been fractured by disobedience, and by the unwillingness to confess. God's heart grieved. One by one, he declared the consequences of their disobedience. The serpent would be cursed, destined to crawl in the dust. Eve would face sorrow and pain in childbirth. Adam would toil all his life, wrestling with the ground for food, until he returned to the very dust from which he was made. God, in his mercy, made garments of animal hide to clothe Adam and Eve, covering their shame. Then he sent them out of the garden they had once called home. At the entrance to Eden, he placed a mighty angel with a flaming sword, guarding the way to the tree of life. With heavy hearts, Adam and Eve walked away, into a world of hardship. But even as the gates of Eden closed behind them, God's love and his plan to restore mankind remained.